Howdy. Welcome to my runcast. It's starting to rain. Look at how pretty. Uh, so, um, so I was just at the gym. I was at two gyms. At Tapia's, I was in a really bad mood. I'm kind of depressed today, so I'm just kind of really serious. But on today's Monday. On Friday, when I was doing pads with Tapia, I pulled his neck down. Like, I grabbed him in the clinch and I pulled his neck down. I'm a knee fighter. This is what I do. And he didn't brace himself in time for it, and he's had like a neck back problem for a while. So that combination of him not preparing for that pull in time and then him having a pre-existing problem, I wrenched him and like pinched this thing in his neck. And he took a minute. Like, he actually had to stop, and he like took a minute and was like trying to move around, and he ended up finishing my pad work. And I was like, you really don't have to finish this pad work, but he did. And then he went and had his mother-in-law like rub oil on it, and I brought him a spray the next day that's supposed to help for like muscle injuries and stuff like that. But I felt really, really bad about it. I have injured my padmen before. And it always shocks me because I'm just so small. Like, I don't think of being someone who could like hurt someone who's significantly bigger than me like that. But, you know, it's just this like combination of things. And he wasn't upset about it. He told me to not be upset, that it's a pre-existing problem, but I feel bad anyway. But today, I'm all serious and I come back to the gym and he's holding pads for me. And he does this thing where he'll stick on a number. So he tells you to do like 20 kicks and then he'll just stay on 5 for like 7 kicks or something. And I didn't smile when he did this. I was just like zoned out, like just I'll keep going until he's done counting. And he looked over at one of the other fighters and he's like, oh, Sylvie's not smiling today. It makes me very nervous. Like, she's gonna hurt me again if she's not smiling. And then I started smiling. I thought this was actually really funny, this like being afraid of me when I'm in a bad mood because I'm gonna start wrecking people. But it was kind of funny, but it's also one of these things where like I'm not worried about, you know, smiling even when I don't want to, kind of thing. Like, I'm not putting my attitude on anybody. I'm just kind of serious today, which is fine. And then I went over to Rambaz for clinching, and he's made some changes to his gym. Like, he has rearranged everything, and he did this crazy fast. So he started rearranging his gym yesterday morning because Sunday is, for him, it's not an off day, but like it has the fewest number of people training on that day. So he started moving things around. He like took the cage out and put one of the rings in the center of the gym, got rid of one of the other rings, and then put the cage flat so that he's like closing off a section. He says he'll have the kids train in so that they're protected. They're basically like behind a fence, protected from everyone else. Look at how stormy. But what he was talking about is, he said that now that he's put the ring at the center, because I'm like, you're only going to have one ring, you used to have 2. He said that every month they can then have a card at their gym for the kids. This is really good because you really need to get your young fighters experience. That's like your main job as a gym, is to get your young fighters lots of fights, because that's how they develop as fighters, and that's how you end up with skilled fighters when they're, 15. And then they get bones, and then they become good fighters when they're like 17, 18. And then you have, potential Yodmoy fighters, or like really kind of big earning fighters or something like this. So he was saying it's just too expensive for his young fighters because there's no fighting in Pattaya. It used to be that when you were really little, you would get your experience fighting at the bar. This sounds really seedy, and it's just not. Like, there's a ring in a bar, and kids fight, and adults do like show fights, and then the people at the bar tip them. So this is good for the people who own the bar because they have entertainment and they don't really have to pay the fighters, because the fighters get paid by tips from the patrons. And then the kids get experience, and the adults who are doing show fights get, beer money or whatever the thing is that they do. Yodkun Pan was a referee at the Siren Bar for a very long time, which is this kind of thing where people were getting experience. People who follow One have probably heard the like story that they've made for Tawan Chai and how he grew up. And he talks about his first fights being at the bar, which is a completely fucking normal thing. Like everyone in Pattaya, including my old trainer Krunu, including Ramba and Tapia, everyone, their first fights are at a bar. Not necessarily that same bar. But now there are none. Like since COVID, there are no more bars with fighters that have kids getting experience. And this is a problem because then kids have to travel really far in order to get their experience, and it's just expensive because kids don't get paid very much at all for their fights. So you're losing money because you're driving however far in order to get your kid experience. And then you're only making like 200 baht off of it, and that's not what it costs for you to drive out all the way to Rayong or whatever to have your kid fight. So having fights at the gym is a solve for getting more experience within Pattaya, because there are a few gyms here that have kids at them, so they can fight each other. It's kind of like a smoker type situation, and it's good. It's something that they can continue doing.